pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, 2.0 is readoption of the agenda. It is recommended that the agenda for October 8, 2025, regular meeting of the Board of School Trustees be adopted as presented.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Dr. Stevens, President Parks, and esteemed members of the board, welcome to Beiger Elementary School. I am incredibly proud and humbled to be here with you tonight as we showcase the tremendous work of our staff and students. School City of Mishawaka is blessed to have teams of dedicated professionals in every building. These teachers pour their hearts into serving students every single day. But today, it's my opportunity to share firsthand the magic that happens here within our walls. At this time, I would like our staff to stand to be recognized. Our very own Beiger crew. Oh, we worked hard on this slideshow. I'm gonna wait. When thinking about what to highlight tonight, the answer was clear: the power of connection. A student's ability to learn is not just about what happens in the classroom, it's also about their sense of belonging. When a student feels connected to their school community, they are more likely to be engaged, motivated, and successful. This connection comes from positive relationships with staff, a safe and welcoming environment, and opportunities to participate in school activities. Ultimately, feeling like a valued member of our school community helps students see that school is a place of support and opportunity rather than just a building. This knowledge, coupled with a new attendance laws and declining attendance rates, have motivated our instructional leadership team and Lighthouse team to seek ways to accomplish this through connection, through the creation of our student leadership opportunities and attendance initiatives. I am proud to share that each year we improve our practice and grow because attendance at school matters. Students track their attendance every single day in their leadership portfolios. We found that attendance is often something students are proud to share at our weekly Wiggy Wednesday meetings. Wiggy Wednesdays are something we borrowed from another building, but it is a time for myself and Ms. Stevens to see how the students are progressing towards our WIGs, our widely important goals, also known as our school improvement plan. At a class level, teachers use a cookie sheet to track when everyone in the class is present. When students reach a dozen days, the classroom receives home-baked cookies. If you didn't know, Beiger Bulldogs love cookies. Thank you to Ms. Ermetti for taking on our very own Beiger Baking Challenge. Additionally, we've instituted 2 new attendance programs this year that I'm excited to share. First, to celebrate our students that come to school every single day, we're fortunate to have you here. Students that are here every day during the month are entered into a drawing. Think Wheel of Fortune style. One student from each room is selected and announced to join me and celebrate with a fortune cookie. Clearly, we had fun. And maybe the initiative I'm most proud of is Weber Watchdogs. We've selected a group of students for a new program led by our school resource officer. Officer Weber focuses on the key ingredients for success: consistent attendance. This initiative is designed for students who in previous years have had an attendance rate less than 94%. We believe that by providing additional support and resources, we can help these students achieve their academic goals and build positive habits for the future. Officer Weber spends time with these students giving on-the-job training. Our watchdogs conduct supervised safety walks outside and around the building. These activities provide Officer Weber opportunities to connect with students and reinforce a key message: It's important to be at school to learn. And at this time, I would like to welcome Griffin Watson and Benson Fullerton, under the direction of Mrs. Hoover and Mrs. Leroy, to discuss our student leadership team and Beiger workforce. Will the members of our leadership team and Beiger workforce please stand now? Let's give them a round of applause. These students keep our building running each day.
Being a Beiger Bulldog gives many students opportunities to be leaders. Each morning you are welcomed at the doors by our morning crew. They are here to give a nice smile and a helping hand as you start your day. Messy tables no more, not with our table washers on duty. These hardworking Bulldogs take pride in making sure tables in the cafeteria are cleaned and ready for the next lunchtime. Playground equipment disappearing was a huge problem, but not now with our recess crew. They are responsible for collecting playground equipment and taking inventory of those supplies after each recess. Missing a lunchbox or jacket? No fear, our loss prevention is here. Thankfully, our team is on the case, tracking down the owners of items left behind at each lunch and recess. After school, we even have athletic directors that help MPG and our sport teams with home games.
Beiger Bulldogs in 4th through 6th grade have an opportunity to apply for a student leadership team. Student leadership meets once a month to support our fellow Bulldogs along with the teachers and MPG. We as members help make decisions for our school along with planning events that impact our community. Currently, as you may have seen in the hallway, we are running a sock drive to help families in need. Some other community events we are doing this year is candy cane sales, which raise money to adopt a family at Christmas, support the district canned food drive and pop-tag collection for Ronald McDonald House. Last year, our members were even a part of the Data Dogs. We are proud to be a Bulldog with empowering others with teamwork and accountability. Our mission every day is to lead by example as a Beiger Bulldog. Please welcome Miss Kosick back up to speed about our Data Dogs.
Thank you to those hardworking crews. I'd like to highlight one more team of students, the Data Dogs. Each week, these students collect our most current data, do some quick calculations, and record our growth on our data board. Ms. Stevens and the Data Dogs have been hard at work collecting data to share with you this evening. We would love for you to take a look at our WIGs, our lead measures, and our Bulldog data as you leave this evening. Our staff truly believes that students are connecting their own goals with growth. You might be wondering where all this data is coming from and how students know they are growing. I would like to introduce Cash Stakowiak and Adeline Martin to talk about our leadership portfolios.
Good evening. I am Cash and this is Addie. We are glad to share with you the information that is kept in our classroom. Here at Beiger, we use leadership portfolios. Our leadership portfolios help us track our learning and goals each day. In our leadership portfolios, we track our attendance, lead measures, and overall performance in school. We track our attendance each day. Attendance is important because when we are here, then we can learn. It improves your intelligence because it ensures you learn the essential skills each day.
Next is our lead measures. We all track our goals in different ways, but still have a common goal. They help us establish and reach our goals in reading and math. We improve our skills while reaching our learning goals. We see results when we put the work in. Finally, we take diagnostic testing 3 times a year in math and reading. We track our data so we can try to improve our scores each time. It helps us know what areas we might need to work on. Overall, leadership portfolios help us become lifelong learners and leaders.
Finally, I would like to invite you to save the date for our first Leader in Me family night on November 12th. The Lighthouse team at Beiger does so much work around the building to build connections and create a positive learning environment for our students. Be sure to check out some of the highlighted areas in the slides. The Beiger teachers, staff, and students are doing some amazing work, and I'm proud to work alongside them. Thank you to everyone that made this evening possible, teachers, staff, students, and parents who brought their children back. Our students are the future leaders of this world. Thank you.
So thanks for having us here.
I'm very happy to report, too, that Beiger is doing very well, thanks to the staff and principal. It's great to come back and see how many great things are happening here.
Questions from the floor. 4.01, representatives of Mishawaka Parent Group. 4.02, representatives of
Education Foundation?
Yes. No. Parent Group.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I can't hear. Now. Okay, sorry. Okay. Sorry. Grab my other script. Okay. Good evening, Dr. Stevens, President Parks, and the school board members. Thank you for allowing MEF to take a minute to share. I'm Sarah Hoover, STEM teacher at Beiger, of course, and one of the 2 teacher representatives on the MEF board. So here's just a few updates from the MEF. The MEF Community Trunk or Treat was last Saturday and was a grand success. We had 1,700 smiling faces with sticky hands from the candy and the heat that were in attendance. We had 30 community members and SEM trunks, such as a Chick-fil-A cow and Sunny 101.5 face painters, balloon specialists, and food trucks. The MHS football team set up and the MHS wrestlers cleaned up with many students pitching in. The midway was full of children having fun, and congratulations to Dr. Stevens for taking time to talk to all 1,700 of our Mishawaka peeps that were there. We pushed the T-Mobile voting hard, and thank you to everyone who gave candy and helped make this day a fun day for the community to remember. The MEF Fall Classroom Grant deadline was Monday, so hopefully teachers got their grants in, and the MEF looks forward to making staff happy in the near future. Also, the MEF has their Evening in the Paradise event, which is November 6th. So if you cannot attend, no fear, you can still support the auction. It is live now with over 100 bidding items. Coming daily is new things. You can go to mishawakaedu.org and bid. There's even a $5,500 orthodontic package that just arrived. So thank you for your support.
4.04 is general public, and we have David Strong.
Good evening, Madam President, school board members, Dr. Stevens. My name is David Strong. I live at 305 George Street in Mishawaka here. I have no group affiliation. I'm not an employee. Retired annuitant, vendor, or contractor of the school city of Mishawaka. I have the following questions for the members of the school board this evening. With respect to this evening's agenda, I have the following questions. Just 2 here tonight. Item 9.01, approval of the Child Nutrition Program Procurement Plan, also known as the 2025 Food Service Procurement Plan. And the question under that item is there a statutory requirement that the school board must approve and publish the food service procurement plan? If so, please explain. Second item is item 10.01, first reading of policies. The question there is, where can I find and read online the proposed revisions to existing school city of Mishawaka policies or the proposed new policies? I'm seeking the full text of those revisions or new policies, not the Neola summaries that sometimes I can find online. Next, I have the following general questions with respect to school operations. General question number 1. What were the school city of Mishawaka fall 2025 ADM counts with respect to the following 3 categories? Mishawaka High School, Caveman Academy of Virtual Excellence, and total system-wide count. And lastly, this evening, a member of the Mishawaka High School class of 1973 has asked me to submit the following question. And that question is, are all bathrooms at Steele Stadium currently ADA compliant? If not, what is the schedule for bringing such facilities into ADA compliance? That concludes my questions for this evening. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you, Dave. Moving on to 5 is consent agenda. 5.01, approval of the minutes of the September 10th, 2025 meeting. It is recommended that the Board of School Trustees approve the minutes of the September 10th, 2025 board meeting as presented. 5.02, approval of bill warrants and payroll. It is recommended that the board approve bill warrants and payroll in the amount of $6,917,089.87 from the appropriate funds. 5.03, approval of the August bank statement reconciliation report. It is recommended that the Board of School Trustees approve the August bank statement reconciliation report as presented. 5.04, approval of the July financials. It is recommended that the Board of School Trustees approve the July financials as presented. 5.05, approval of the August financials. It is recommended that the Board of School Trustees approve the August financials as presented. 5.06, approval of donations. It is recommended that the school board or the Board of School Trustees approve the donations as listed and documented. 5.06 or 7, sorry. 5.07, approval of the Mishawaka High School Athletic Handbook. It is recommended that the Board of School Trustees approve the MHS Athletic Handbook as presented. 5.08, approval of the position descriptions. It is recommended that the Board of School Trustees approve the position descriptions as presented. 5.09, approval of the consent agenda. It is recommended that the Board of School Trustees approves the consent agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Before we get into the regular business meeting, if anyone would like to go, this would be the opportunity to do so. Thank you for coming. Thank you, students.
Sorry, they're all getting
There
antsy and
they-
someone
I
started
know.
moving, and I was like, oh, we forgot to do that.
Always forget. And everyone's gone. Back row, please move up. You've made the next contestants. Sorry, Tracy and Jen, that's it. You 4, that's it. You're the next American Idol. Yeah, so sweet.
Amy and Jackie still sat in the back there. They didn't move up.
No. All right, 6 is reports and discussion items. There is nothing. 7 is human resources. 7.01, personnel report. Mr. Laban?
Board members, this evening we're recommending the appointment of 1 certified and 15 classified positions. We also have 5 extra duty and 2 volunteer recommendations for your review. Also listed on the personnel report this evening is the retirement of 1 certified and 3 classified employees. First, I'd like to quickly recognize Mrs. Gina Markey. After 37 years with School City of Mishawaka, Gina is retiring from her role as an elementary school teacher. The majority of Gina's career, as she has been devoted to teaching deep students, specifically at Twin Branch as of late, where her passion and dedication have certainly made a lasting impact. Next, we have Miss Janie Ewald. Janie has served SCM since 2008 and is retiring following many years of dedicated service in both the food service department and most recently as a swing utility custodian across the corporation. Janie's hard work, reliability, and commitment to our schools and students have been a value and greatly appreciated, and she will be missed. Next, we have Miss Charlie Ware. After 5 years of service to SCM, Charlie is retiring from her role as a school bus driver. She has safely transported and cared for countless students each day, always with dependability and kindness. And finally, Miss Elizabeth Lehman. Elizabeth joined SCM in February of 2025 and has served as a program assistant. In her short time with us, she has shown dedication, care, and a genuine commitment to supporting the students in which she has served. So on behalf of the board and the admin, we want to thank Gina, Janie, Charlie, and Elizabeth for their years of service to SCM and wish them the very best in their next endeavor. As always, happy to answer any questions, but it's recommended the board approve the personnel report dated October 8th, 25 as presented.
So moved. Second. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 7.02, approval of employment with individual employees. Mr. LeBon?
Thank you, President Parks. Pursuant to Indiana Code, it is recommended that the Board of School Trustees approve employment with the individuals as listed in the administrative content.
Move for approval. Second. It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 7.03, public meeting to discuss tentative agreement with Mishawaka Education Association. Mr. LeBon?
Thank you, President Parks. In 2019, Senate enrolled Act 390 amended the collective bargaining process to require the school employer to hold a public hearing at least 72 hours prior to its ratification meeting to discuss the terms of the publicly available tentative collective bargaining agreement, or CBA. The TA has been posted on the SCM website. We posted that on Friday, October 3rd. It's been posted since and will continue to be. And our targeted ratification meeting is our next school board meeting on November 5th, 25. The TA with the Mishawaka Education Association includes some of the following in terms of salaries and base compensation, increasing our current base teacher salary from what is currently $47,500 to $48,000. We will establish a new salary range that will result in an average of 1.08% increase across the board for all of our certified teachers. And then as part of a new Indiana code, you can see that code listed here on the screen, we are required to include a pay or salary differential specifically for the attainment or initial attainment of the early literacy endorsement. So that is part of our CBA this year for the first time ever. I'm not going to get in too much detail about health insurance and dental insurance because we do have a presentation next to get into that a little bit further, but we are making some changes to both of those offerings for our employees, but that does include a 9% increase in premiums for health insurance, but a 0% increase in premiums for dental insurance. We also had additional changes to the ECA or extracurricular activities schedule, as well as some general language modification and changes as we do always. So before I open the public hearing, are there any questions or any comments from the board? Okay, hearing none, I will call the 25 public hearing on the collective bargaining order to order. If there is anyone who wishes to speak on the matter at hand, please come to the podium at this time.
No contestants.
Seeing that none have stepped forward to address the matter, I will close and conclude the public hearing. Thank you for your time. No action from the board tonight. Again, we'll be back on the 5th of November to seek ratification of the tentative agreement and the ultimate CBA. Thank you.
Thank you, Corey. 7.04, SEM insurance update. Ms. Sanders and Mr. LeBon.
Very good. Thank you again, President Parks, members of the board. This evening, Ms. Jenny Sanders, SCM Benefits and Wellness Coordinator, and I are excited to share with you some exciting upcoming updates and changes to our insurance. At SCM, we recognize that each of our dedicated employees are key to the overall success, and offering a comprehensive benefits package is an important part of our overall compensation. Each year, we review our benefits package to ensure that we're providing our employees and their families with a quality plan that's being offered at an affordable price. You have a clicker?
I don't have a clicker. There is a clicker.
There you go, thanks. We will ultimately have one joint recommendation, but that will be incorporated of two different components there in the presentation this evening. The first of which is to approve a contract with Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield to be School City of Mishawaka's next medical insurance provider effective January 1, 2026. To set the stage a little bit, I want to start with the why behind the change. For the last several years, as many are aware, SCM has had a self-funded PPO, a preferred provider organization with the Select Health Network. The transition to an ACO back in 2018 was a large transition for the corporation itself, but it has served us well for many years and from many different aspects, specifically from a financial aspect, but without compromising the service in which we've been able to offer and provide to our employees. However, as I mentioned in my opening remarks, we are committed to offering the best plan at the most affordable cost and price. So as there is with most things with the rise in medical costs, Gibson, our insurance broker, the actuaries from Gibson, were projecting a 15% increase for the new calendar year if we were to remain with Select and our current plan design. So in an effort to mitigate what that increase would have been, we went to the drawing board and tried to look at opportunities to get that cost down by introducing a dual plan option, ultimately by introducing a high deductible plan. So what that ended up looking like was with the introduction of the high deductible plan, if we were to elect to stay with Select, we were looking at a 12% increase to our premiums for both the employer and to the employee. However, we conducted a network analysis in which basically what we did was we farmed out our claims from last year to different providers, and we found that Anthem returned a cost savings of $1.2 million. So to be clear, what that means was that if we would have been with Anthem last year, when we took the claims that were actually submitted by our families and our employees, we would have seen a savings of $1.2 million. So again, we weren't necessarily targeting Anthem. In fact, we didn't think Anthem was an option for us, to be totally fair. But when we saw that, we thought, okay, now we need to explore that and see what that could look like. So we took the same criteria in which we applied when we were evaluating Select and with Oxient and applied that to Anthem. And then what the actuaries came back and to tell us was that we were projected to see an increase of 9% on the premiums, okay? Next slide, please. So again, while obviously no increase is ideal, we are recommending the moving forward of the 9% increase. Again, that's compared to a 12% or to a 15%. Again, additionally, Anthem brings certainly a more robust network of coverage for our employees, which includes both St. Joe and Beacon Health Systems, in addition to an improved mental health network as well, which admittedly has been a bit of a challenge for us as of late as a result of the transition from New Avenues to All One Health. All One Health will remain as our EAP provider, but again, if we can get the best case of the worst case scenarios in terms of an increase, because we're going to have an increase, right? The industry average right now is 20%, so a 9% increase, but can do so by achieving a broader, more robust network, right? And also increased access for mental health services and supports. You know, for us, that was a pretty no-brainer type of answer there. There will be no changes to our pharmacy prescription coverage, and that will continue to be with TrueRx. And we will also continue to utilize Sharks. That's that high prescription cost program that we implemented last year. It's showing some really positive and encouraging returns in terms of finances. And that's returns both for the corporation, but also for the employee that's keeping money in their pockets. So we're really pleased with the introduction of what that's been able to do for us. While it is mostly good news, right, the transition from Select and Oxient to Anthem, it will require some adjustments. The VBID, our Living Well program, will no longer be available. Additionally, our Flex Spend Plan administrator will also have to change. Currently, it's with Oxient, and obviously moving away from that, we can no longer use Oxient for that service, so we are moving away from that as well. Details are still being finalized and will be communicated soon. However, SCM will continue to offer a Flex Spend to those who are interested and those who are eligible as well. So at this time, Ms. Sanders is going to speak a little bit more about the high deductible plan. But our first recommendation again this evening will be to approve the agreement with Blue Cross, Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield as our medical provider as of January 1. Not yet. Sorry. We're going to do one joint and then here. Yep.
Good evening. Thank you guys for having me tonight. I just wanted to take a few minutes to explain a little bit more about why we changed and added the high deductible plan and what that really means for our employees. As Corey had mentioned, we had come in with originally a 15% increase in our rates, and obviously we did not want to have that for the corporation or for the employees. So we worked with Gibson on some different ideas on plan design changes that could possibly help mitigate that expense. And one of the things we had discussed is the addition of a high deductible health plan. You can see the comparison up on the screen, and it definitely is a high deductible health plan. But with the addition of that, we were able to bring down our premiums substantially from what they originally were going to be. And it is something that is 100% optional for employees. We see that maybe employees who have they're young, they're single, right? That they're gonna want to maybe save a little bit of money as opposed to spending more money if they're not expecting to have higher health costs. Or some of our employees who maybe are not making as much money and really can't afford the higher increase of our premiums might wanna do that. Or with the addition of the high deductible plan, we also can add an HSA, a health savings account, which every year I get at least one new employee who asks me if they can participate in a health savings account, and that is something that you can only have with a high deductible plan. Health savings accounts are a great tax advantage. They, as opposed to a flex spending account, they stay with you forever. They consistently just roll over. And when you turn 65, if you still have money in that, it can be treated like any other retirement account. So it can be a very good benefit for some people to have that. We still have, obviously, the option of our PPO plan, and we haven't changed that at all. So, except for the rate increase. So people will still have that option, but we were happy to have another option available for people that might work out better for their circumstances in life. We also changed our dental insurance this year. When our renewal came up and Gibson went to HRI, which is our current dental carrier, with our renewal, they wanted to increase our rates 9%. Which, when you looked at the dollars and cents of that, was not actually a horrible amount, but when you looked at how much we were already gonna have to increase our medical rates, we really did not want to do that to our employees. So Gibson had shopped around and got, I believe, 4 different proposals, and MetLife turned out to be our best bet. We were able, with the slight 1.6% increase, to just absorb that. We had a little bit of wiggle room in our current premium, so we don't have to raise the rates of our employees at all. And some of you may remember that last year we went to MetLife for our vision and all of our other voluntary items except for our flex spend plan. So we're familiar with MetLife. People already are familiar with using their online system. And while I'm not going to claim there haven't been any bumps in the road in general, I think that it's been a fairly smooth transition, and we're hoping that it can also be a smooth transition with the dental. We are going to match our current dental plan with them, so there won't be any changes in the amount of coverage. There will be some disruption, unfortunately, with providers. Anytime you make a change like this, there will be some disruption. But we have coverage for out-of-network providers also, so we're hoping that that will help to offset some of that disruption. You do have the option of staying with your current provider, and the insurance will pay part of any cost associated with that. It just could very well end up being a little bit different for you. We are very confident in sticking with MetLife and adding another line of service to them. So our second and final recommendation tonight will be to approve an agreement with MetLife to be our dental carrier beginning January 1st, 2026. So when we make this huge of a change, we definitely want to try to get the word out to all of our employees. And we actually started that back in August after it was taken to the TACT meeting by putting information in the Insider about the possibility of a change. And then again in September, followed that up with more information. Once we had started to finalize all of our plans, we sent out an email last week that kind of broke it all down into pieces that hopefully everybody can follow to some extent. And that email will be followed with numerous other emails to make it, to hone in on the individual pieces like the high deductible plan, how the flex spend is changing. Anthem has a lot of really nice programs that we'll be able to utilize, and hopefully we'll be able to continue to educate employees about that. We also made a really nice insurance update infographic, and I will talk about that on the next slide. And on next Wednesday, you are all invited, we are going to have a fun and exciting Q&A meeting about all of our insurance updates at 10 o'clock. It is via Google Meet. So every employee of School City Mishawaka should have gotten an email, I think Monday, that gave information about that meeting, including a link to it. We are also starting to communicate information about our open enrollment, which is November 3rd through the 15th. That will again be an active open enrollment, which means we will require all employees to take part in that or risk losing their benefits. The reason for doing that is, there's a couple reasons, but one of them is we've made so many changes that we want to make sure that our employees understand those changes and have the opportunity to make changes if they want to, and that's what's best for them. But then there's also beneficiaries, right? People have changes in their life and may not think to update their beneficiaries and make sure that those are correct. So that's an opportunity for them to review all their benefits and see that. It's also an opportunity for them to maybe learn things about their benefits that they didn't really understand or know. We made a lot of changes last year, and people definitely could have signed up for things without understanding what all of the benefits of those were. We are able this year to expand our in-person meetings with our enrollers. Last year, that was one of our complaints, is we did not have enough in-person meetings, so we will have enrollers in all of our schools in the administration building just about every day for 2 weeks. Hopefully able to provide enough in person for everybody who wants them, but there are also phone enrollers available. The other thing that we're going to try to improve a little bit on from last year is our employees wanted to ask very specific questions to our insurance on the enrollers, like, is this medication covered? And then we're not very happy when they didn't know those answers. So we're just going to try to better educate our employees that it's impossible for somebody to know all of that. They get a one-day training, so it's not going to happen, but they can always call me. Hopefully all of these changes and everything will be ready to go. No interruption, January 1st. Everybody will get their new insurance cards and it'll be wonderful. All right, the last thing I'm gonna share is our open enrollment flyer that was sent out originally with the invitation to our meeting, and then we will send it out many, many more times. We have a secretaries meeting tomorrow, and I've already printed a bunch of them for them to come back and plaster all over their buildings, just to break down some of the important things that are changing this year and make sure everybody's aware. Not everybody reads their email. I had somebody after open enrollment last year tell me that they didn't know it was open enrollment, and there were a lot of emails sent. So we want to make sure that we want to make sure that it goes in our kitchens and our food service people all see it. We want to make sure that our custodians have it in their office and they all see it. We want to make sure every employee is aware that we are making changes and that they have an opportunity to make changes in their benefits, and that they have to complete their open enrollment.
Wrapping things up, I want to acknowledge that insurance can be equally confusing as it is boring, right? Yet it is one of the largest contributors, right, to the overall satisfaction and longevity of our employees, and certainly has a direct impact on the finances of our corporation as well. So it's important, it matters, right? And I think it's important that we recognize that, and I think that these additions and these changes are certainly going to only further enhance what I feel is already a comprehensive benefits package, again, at the benefit of the corporation, but more importantly of our employees as well. So before we wrap up, I would be remiss and need to acknowledge our friends at MEA, specifically co-presidents Amy Foley and Jackie Miller, for their collaboration and partnership throughout this process. Bob, Stephanie, and Jocelyn from Gibson as well, and then certainly Ms. Jenny Sanders as well for her leadership and her support throughout the process. Again, we've made a lot of changes in the past 24 months, and that doesn't come as the result of not many hours and lots of hard work in order to make that run as smoothly and seamless as possible. So thank you to all of those folks for your efforts and contributions. As always, happy to answer any questions that the board may have. but it is recommended that the board approve the insurance updates, including the agreements with Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield and MetLife Insurance Company as presented.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
8 is Curriculum and Instruction and Technology. 8.01, approval of therapy dog program for Mishawaka High School. Mr. Troyer?
Thank you, President Parks, Dr. Stevens, members of the board. Good evening. Tonight we are seeking approval of a new addition to our therapy dog program. As you know, this program integrates certified therapy dogs into the daily school environment, providing emotional support, reducing student anxiety, and promoting a positive school climate. Currently, we have 4 therapy dogs in 5 different buildings. So as you remember, at Battelle and at Hums, we have Michelle Anderson's dog, Penny. At Beiger, we have Chris Ermetti's dog, Ocean. And at Liberty Elementary, we have Kristen Wells' dog, Bo. And at John Young Middle School, we have Rebecca Cummings' dog, Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player ever. So tonight, Mishawaka High School is seeking approval of our 5th therapy dog. Mr. Brian Scoggin, assistant principal at MHS, is the owner and handler of Cody, an 8-year-old boxer beagle mix. Cody's been trained through Katie's Canine in Paw Paw, Michigan, and is on track to be fully certified through the Alliance of Therapy Dogs by the end of the year. So tonight, we are seeking approval of Cody at Mishawaka High School.
He's definitely got a boxer face. What a sweet boy. He's like, sure. He's a lap dog, Bill. Yeah. He's cute. Well, I guess after looking at him. No. Oh, sorry. Move for approval. Is there all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Welcome to Mishawaka, Cody. I hope our high school students are nice to him. Moving on to 9, business and operations. 9.01, approval of the child nutrition program procurement plan. Mrs. Dutoy?
Thank you. Until September 9th, 2025. It should be reviewed every year, and she would like to have the approval for this year's revisions.
Okay. Is there a motion? Move for approval.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 9.02, approval of purchase of combi oven for LaSalle Elementary. Mrs. Dutoy?
Thank you, President Parks. Mrs. Cupp is asking for your approval to purchase a combi oven for LaSalle Elementary. It will help make the kitchen more efficient. This is one of the ovens that she received a $25,000 grant to purchase.
Nice.
Move for approval.
Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 9.03, approval of purchase of 2 combi ovens for Mishawaka High School. Mrs. Dutoy.
Thank you, President Parks. She's wanting to purchase 2 additional combi ovens for the Mishawaka High School to help with that efficiency also.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 9.04, adoption of the 2026 bus replacement plan. Mrs. Dutoy.
Thank you. Yes, I'm asking for your approval to and adopt the 2026 bus replacement plan that was presented on September 10th of 2025.
Okay.
So move.
Is there a second? Second? Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 9.05, adoption of the 2026 capital projects plan, Mrs. Dutoy.
Thank you. I'm asking for your recommendation and the adoption of the 2026 capital project plan. It was also presented on September 10th of 2025.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 9.06, adoption of the 2026 calendar year budget, Mrs. Dutoy.
Yes, this is the adoption of the 2026 calendar year budget, which was based on a 12% increase on our CNAV. But as St. Joe County just submitted their numbers this evening at 4:54 p.m., I did some calculations. It actually was only 8.47. So it actually is probably higher than the appropriation, but we will just have to live within the budget that we're going to be dealt once I recalculate the numbers.
Okay.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 9.07, approval of the resolution number 2025-007, ongoing transfer of funds from the education fund to the operations fund, Mrs. Dutoy.
Yes, this is the resolution that will cover the time period of July 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2025, the first 6 months of the 18-month budget period. It is for the balance of the $8 million that has not been transferred as of this date. I'm just asking for your approval.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 9.08, approval of the resolution number 2025-008, ongoing transfer funds from the education fund to the operations fund, Mrs. Dutoy.
Yes, this is the resolution that goes along with the calendar year 2026 budget that allows the $8 million to be transferred from the education to the operations fund to cover those expenditures that were no longer covered in the general fund.
Move for approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 9.09, approval of the resolution number 2025-009, education fund to rainy day fund transfer, Mrs. Dutoy.
This is the resolution that transfers the balance above the 15% that would be calculated in the education operations fund transfer normally, but we're transferring it to the rainy day fund in hopes that perhaps we don't have to do that and we can save it for a rainy day.
Move for approval. Second.
We hope. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 9.10, approval of resolution number 2025-010, operations fund transfer, Mrs. Dutoy.
I lost my place one moment. Computer went out. I don't have a copy of that one moment.
Does she need a sheet? It's the quietest this gym's ever been.
Oh, I'm sorry, this is the attendance officer resolution. The
No,
legislature.
the one before that.
Yeah, we're 9.10.
This is the resolution to transfer back the funds that were borrowed from the education fund to close out the fiscal year of 2025, as it was in the red, and that's not allowed by the State Board of Accounts. So we transferred just enough to put technically about $1,000 into the ops fund to make it in the black for the end of the fiscal year.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 9.11, approval of petition to St. Joe County for state mandated reimbursement amount for attendance officers. Mrs. Dutoy?
Thank you, President Parks. This legislation allows the county to mandate to reimburse us for some of our attendance officer costs if we designate one, and as we have Mr. Troyer in that position, I will be petitioning the county for that after the spring ADM count.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Sorry, Mrs. Utoy. That was your show. 10 is policy updates. 10.01, first reading of the policies. Mr. Troyer?
Thank you, President Parks. Good evening again. I apologize going forward. This agenda item is not as fun as a therapy dog, but is needed nonetheless. The proposed policy updates presented tonight are part of Neola's Volume 36, Number 1 update from March 2024. This update includes 15 revised policies, 2 newly proposed policies, 1 technical correction, 11 policies recommended for rescission. These changes are part of Neola's ongoing efforts to ensure policy alignment with current state, federal laws, court decisions, Office for Civil Rights Guidance, and best practices across Indiana school districts. Some of the highlights of policy rescissions. 11 policies are proposed for removal as part of Neola's streamlining initiative. These policies have been consolidated into a single, more comprehensive policy to reduce redundancy. New policy 142201, drug-free workplace, mirrors existing policies for other employee groups. This addition ensures drug-free workplace standards that are clearly defined for new administrators. New policy 1662.01, threatening and intimidating behavior towards staff, addresses threats made towards staff members, requires mandatory reporting to the principal, and adds cross-reference to related policies to improve consistency and enforcement. Revised policy 5517.01, bullying, updated in response to House Enrolled Act 1483. Key changes include prioritizing the safety of the targeted student, mandatory parental notification for both parties within 5 business days, requirements for parental review of materials used in bullying or suicide prevention programs. The next steps we have, these policies are presented tonight for first reading. No board action will need to be taken at this meeting. Final versions will be brought forward for approval at the November 5 board meeting. And at this time, if you have any questions.
Thank you, Dave.
All right, thank you.
11 is superintendent's report and action items. Dr. Stevens?
Thank you, President Parks. If you don't mind, I'll hit 11.01. Per to the open door law, the proposed School City of Mishawaka board meetings are recommended for the 2026 calendar year. You can see those in your board agenda. Generally speaking, the meetings are going to be, or would be, per your approval, the second Wednesday of each month. But of course, that's not always. Sometimes there's spring break, there's some other events that occur that we have to make some adjustments. But please note that the board does always have the authority to hold additional board meetings and or executive sessions as appropriate and with proper notice. So I'm happy to entertain questions the board may have about the 2026 board meeting calendar, but if there are none, we are seeking your approval as presented.
Move for second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 11.02, reappointment of SEM representative to Mishawaka Penn Harris Public Library Board of Trustees. Dr. Stevens?
Thank you, President Parks. Again, the Mishawaka Penn Harris Public Library has actually reached out in support of continuing to have Ms. Dee Dee Gerber serve on the School City of Mishawaka as the School City of Mishawaka representative to the Library Board. It appears that both SCM and the Penn Harris Library both share admiration of Ms. Gerber, which is great news. So if approved, her term would be from January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2029. So I'm happy to entertain questions that the board may have, but seeing none, we're recommending approval as presented.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 11.03, superintendent's updates. Dr. Stevens?
Thank you, President Parks. And this is really last but not least, a special thank you to Mrs. Kozik, the Beiger staff, and Mr. Weber. You got it right by thanking them before because you actually had an audience. Now there's only like You know, a few of them still left in the room. But for those watching on TV at home or watching on the Mishawaka Network, thank you, Mrs. Kozik and everybody, for hosting us tonight. It's a little bit of work, of course, to put this all together. Of course, our folks in the back running sound, and again, the friends at Mishawaka Network, we really appreciate you hosting us and putting on a great presentation. So if there are no further questions for me, Mrs. Parks, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Can I make one more comment? I'd just like to, on behalf of our school board, thank all the principals. It is National Principal Month, and I was happily able to meet with all the principals and personally thank them for the job they do. And without you guys, obviously, our corporation wouldn't run as well. So thank you for those of you that are still here.
Congratulations. Thank you for what you do. 12 is communications, 12.01 public announcements. Reminder that for families, parent-teacher conferences will be held Wednesday, October 15, 2025. There will be no school for students that day. School will be closed October 16th through the 20th for fall break. The next meeting of the School City Mishawaka Board of School Trustees will be November the 5th, 2025 at Emmons Elementary. If there is nothing else to come before the board, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you and have a good rest of your week. Another picture?
Or do you want to, can you get Jen to send you the picture?
Aww.